Good afternoon, keepers of the cash. Gary B, the Casual Comic Guy here, and we are here with Savage Saturday Comic Review number 43. And this week, what we're reviewing is Conan the Barbarian, issue 104, The Veil of Lost Women. So this is a unique story in the Conan mythos by Robert E. Howard. And what makes it unique is this is one of the stories that was printed way after his death. So he died in 1936 at 30 years old, and in 1967 was when this story first saw print, 31 years after his death in 1936. So what it originally was printed in was the Magazine of Horror, the spring issue number 15, which I have right here. So this is its actual first publication, The Veil of Women by Robert E. Howard. So happy to have that in the collection. And the reason that this story is unique is some people like it, some people don't. It's very polarizing, and I think the reason that is because it's not a true classic Conan tale told in that fashion, where we're going along with Conan on this journey. This is Conan through the eyes of others, and that's part of the reason why I like this story. Is it my favorite Conan story? Not by far. It's good, it's not great. But it does give you perspectives, which I really appreciate about it. So, Conan at this time is the war chief of the Bamala tribe, and he had worked and fought his way there and proved himself, and he is meeting with a guy named Bajuj, and you can see that the art in this issue is spectacular, especially when you're looking at the faces and just all the emotion that John Buscema and Ernie Chan put into these characters. It's amazing. You can always tell how they feel. So, Baju is just this really overweight guy, and he's a leader, and he's always gorging himself, and he's meeting with Conan. He needs a treaty with him. They need to pair up. He wants Conan to fight someone else. Conan's there to meet with him, drink with him, basically party with him, right? Until an agreement's reached. But Conan's no dummy. He also knows that this guy's going to betray him at some point because that's the way of the tribes in this area. But this tribe has just slaughtered a young man, and his sister is in another hut. And she is just horrified. And when she is peeking out through the hut and sees Conan coming in among these Bomulas, and he's an outsider and not one of them, she sees her only chance of survival. So she's fixated on him, and she's able to sneak out after Conan's night of parlaying with Bajuj, and both tribes are turned to bed because Conan came with his tribe, Baju has his, and she's got to sneak out to talk to him. Now, what you see in this story is you see the way Baju sees Conan. There's a respect there. He knows Conan's a warrior. He knows that for an outsider like Conan to be war chief, he commands power, he commands respect. So you see that through Baju's interactions with Conan. The girl's interaction is she sees him as a savior, but she also sees him as a savage like everyone else. She's from a royal family, and she's from a place of privilege, and being out of her element doesn't fit her at all. She can't adapt, she can't adjust, and she's fairly weak of character. So, but she does meet with Conan, and again, the strength of this story is how you see Conan through other people's eyes. Some people fear him and respect him. Some people want to lie next to him and be in that circle with him. Some people view him as a savage. Some people view him as the dangerous, smart outlander that he is. And it's just all these different perspectives mingle well because everyone sees Conan as something else. There's those that see him as an immediate threat and treat it as such. There's some that turn tail and make sure that they're not seen by Conan. If they are, they're not seen long by him. But really, really cool perspectives. But Conan meets and with Baju's, and they're having this drinking contest. Conan retires him because Conan did not fail at the drinking contest. So Baju retires to bed. Conan retires to his hut as well. Baju's carried to his hut by his tribe, and you'll see Baju's and all them over there. I'll keep posting it. And she sneaks in, thinking that she's gonna get in there, no one's gonna see her, but she crawls out of her hut into Conan's hut. They're close together, so that's something she can do without being seen by either tribe. Is going underneath. And as soon as she lifts up a board, Conan's got her by the head of the hair, and his senses are always going. He knows there's an intruder on the way in. And she pleads with him and calls him a savage, and then says he has no nobility. And she starts beating on him. Conan just stands there and takes it all. And he says he'll help her. She finally offers him payment for his services. The payment is herself. Conan, you know, thinks that she's attractive enough. He accepts the bargain. It's not like he's gonna go through with it. It's not his moral character. So the next day comes. Conan and his tribe are having. Conan and Bamlas are having dinner with Baju's tribe, and then they halfway through the dinner, Conan takes out Baju's war chief, and his tribe falls on them and slaughters the whole tribe. And during all this confusion and chaos, Livia, who is the character that was asking for Conan's help, she starts to realize after she sees all them that all Conan's people kill Baju's people, that payment is going to come due, and she wants no part of it. She hops a horse and she's out, which brings her to this the title of the story brings her to this valley, this Vale of Lost Women. And there's all this white lotus growing. There's a big altar in the middle, and the horse that she's on throws her, and then she's surrounded by these women. There's a bit of the supernatural about them, and they carry her to this altar, and she's there as a sacrifice to this god that shows up, and it's this big giant bat looking creature. Of course, Conan arrives just in time to save the day, and this woman, being out of her element, tells Conan, I planned on, you've saved me twice, and I planned on leaving you behind. And Conan says, don't worry, it was a foul bargain to begin with. No matter what land, it's not the right way to treat someone. I shouldn't have struck that bargain with you. It wasn't right the way it was done. He'll drop her off, no fear where she's from. And she latches on to him, and Conan just basically tells her, look, you're not a fit person to be with me. And he means no offense. He's just stating facts as they are. Conan does not like to be surrounded by weak people, man or woman or otherwise. And through this whole thing, she just ran. She was weak of character. And again, another thing that they're showing through this story is Conan's morals, Conan's humanity, also his fallibility in some situations to strike that foul bargain in the first place, but to realize it's foul and then go back and say, look, I shouldn't have done that. None of that's going to happen that we discussed. Shows that, the thinker that he is, and he's more than a warrior. But the main strength of this story was seeing all the different perspectives that people view Conan in. And that made it worth the read. It made it a lot of fun. It wasn't the top Conan story that you're ever going to put in front of you and thumb through. But I've read this story a few times. There's enough in it to like. The comic gives you more Conan than the original story, so that makes it a bit more fun. But overall, we'll give this story a B. And this wasn't even one of Roy Thomas's favorite stories to adapt, and he even says it. It was, I think, one of the last Robert E. Howard stories that was adapted, or might be the last. And but it's got a little bit of a following. It is an original Robert E. Howard tale, and the perspectives you see Conan in are worth exploring. Like I said, the story is a B. Roy Thomas gave it like a B too. Said it's not really the best, and he wasn't even that big a fan of the adaptation here. There just isn't a whole lot of other things going on in the story, but it's got a cool monster. It's got some other cool characters with the women that are in the valley, but it doesn't do anything else with them. You would have liked to seen a little bit more, but it's basically jumping from one scene to another with this woman Livia, who is viewing all these different people in different aspects of fear and just trying to survive along the way. But the art, A plus, the inking, A plus. It's just the tale itself has its own inherent weaknesses, which lag it behind a little bit from other Conan tales. But that's it, guys. That's a review this week. So let me know what you think. And if you've read this issue, tell me below what you thought of it. Is The Veil of Lost Women one of your favorite Robert E. Howard stories or adaptations, or is this the first you're hearing of it? But that's it for this week. Until next time, keep it casual.